What if I told you the biggest mystery in the season 4 finale wasn't the bones, the monsters, or even the red sky? What if the writers quietly revealed the truth through tiny details that almost everyone missed? One hidden clue changes everything we thought we knew about the boy in white. Another hints that Julie's story is far more important than anyone expected. And one forgotten detail about the talismans could completely change the future of the town. The finale answered some questions, but it also planted secrets that are even more terrifying. So, let's break down the hidden clues you probably missed. Because after watching this episode again, it's clear that nothing happened by accident. The season 4 finale looked like a straightforward rescue mission on the surface. Jade and Tabitha entered the tunnels to recover the children's bones, while Boyd prepared to pull out the bottle tree. Everything seemed to be leading toward one final goal. But if you pay close attention, the episode is quietly telling us that the bones were never the real prize. They were only one piece of a much bigger plan. The first clue comes from Jade himself. He admits that he lied to everyone. He told Boyd that the bones would protect them, even though he already knew they wouldn't. At first, this makes Jade look reckless and desperate. But think about it for a moment. Jade has spent the entire season chasing answers instead of simply trying to survive. He has slowly become someone who believes that taking risks is the only way to uncover the truth. His lie wasn't about saving lives. It was about forcing events to move forward. That decision completely changes the meaning of the finale. Instead of being a simple rescue mission, the entire operation becomes a gamble. Jade is betting that finding the truth is worth any sacrifice. This shows just how much the town has changed him. Earlier seasons showed Jade as someone obsessed with solving puzzles. Now he is willing to risk everything just to prove his theories. Another hidden clue appears the moment Boyd uproots the bottle tree. Almost instantly, the monsters begin flooding into the tunnels. That seems obvious enough, but notice something interesting. The monsters do not attack while the tree is still standing. It almost feels as though the tree was acting like a lock, keeping something much worse under control. For several seasons, fans believed the bottle trees were simply magical landmarks or mysterious portals. But this finale suggests they may actually serve another purpose. Instead of opening doors, they might be sealing them shut. Removing one doesn't create safety. It removes protection. Then comes one of the episode's strangest moments. Just as the monsters close in, sunlight keeps them from getting too close. The timing feels almost too perfect. Seconds later, the ladder breaks, darkness suddenly arrives, and an earthquake shakes the entire tunnel. Many viewers focused on the action, but the sequence itself raises several questions. Why did night fall so quickly? Why did the earthquake happen at exactly that moment? Why did both events accidentally save Jade and Tabitha instead of killing them? The answer may be that the town itself was reacting. Throughout the series, strange forces seem to respond whenever someone changes the balance between hope and fear. Every major discovery is usually followed by an even greater disaster. It's almost as if the town refuses to let anyone get too close to escaping. That idea becomes even stronger when we see the earthquake spreading across the entire town. Buildings shake, people panic. Victor immediately realizes something terrible has happened before anyone even tells him. That reaction is important because Victor has lived in this nightmare longer than anyone else. He understands patterns that nobody else notices. Instead of asking whether Jade and Tabitha survived, Victor's first concern is the bottle tree itself. That tells us he already knows how dangerous removing it really is. Another detail many fans overlooked is Boyd's decision. He desperately wants to stay behind and rescue Jade and Tabitha, but eventually he chooses to save the people already with him instead. This isn't just character development. It's another example of how the town constantly forces impossible choices. Every leader eventually reaches a moment where saving one group means abandoning another. Boyd has faced this kind of decision many times before, and every choice leaves permanent emotional scars. Meanwhile, Tabitha's reaction inside the tunnel deserves attention as well. When Jade finally admits the truth about the bones, she doesn't waste time arguing. She immediately begins thinking about survival. That small moment shows how much Tabitha has changed over the seasons. Earlier, she searched for logical explanations and questioned everything around her. Now she accepts that this place doesn't follow normal rules. Her focus has shifted from understanding the impossible to surviving it. Perhaps the biggest clue of all is that despite all their sacrifices, the characters leave the tunnels with almost no idea what to do next. The entire season revolved around retrieving the children's bones. Yet once they finally succeed, nobody explains how those bones actually solve anything. That doesn't feel like bad writing. It feels intentional. The finale quietly tells us that everyone, including Jade, may have been chasing the wrong answer all along. And if that's true, then someone else has been quietly pulling the strings from the shadows. Someone who understood the real purpose of the bones long before anyone else did. That mystery leads directly to one of the finale's most shocking hidden clues. If the first half of the finale was about taking away the town's protection, then the second half quietly reveals something even more frightening. The real danger was never the monsters. It was the hidden force controlling everything behind them. Almost every shocking moment in this episode points toward one terrifying idea. Someone has been planning these events for a very long time. One of the biggest clues is the strange transformation of the sky. At first glance, it simply looks like a dramatic visual moment. Red lightning shoots upward from the uprooted bottle tree, and suddenly the entire sky turns blood red. It creates one of the most unforgettable images in the series. But if you stop and think about it, this event has much deeper meaning. Throughout the show, the environment has always reflected the balance of power inside the town. Whenever something major changes, the weather, the forest, or even time itself begins acting strangely. This red sky doesn't appear randomly. It happens the exact moment the bottle tree is removed. That suggests the tree wasn't just connected to the tunnels, it was connected to the entire town. This changes how we should view every bottle tree we've seen before. Maybe they aren't mysterious landmarks at all. Maybe each one acts like part of a giant system, keeping something trapped beneath the surface. Remove one piece, and the entire system begins to collapse. That idea becomes even stronger when everyone in town reacts at the same time. People who have no idea what happened suddenly feel that something is terribly wrong. Fear spreads without anyone explaining why. Even the characters who don't understand the truth instinctively know that the town has changed forever. Then we arrive at another hidden clue that many viewers barely noticed. While everyone is distracted by the chaos, Sophia quietly begins collecting the talismans. This scene is incredibly important because almost no attention is given to it during the episode. The camera doesn't treat it like a major reveal, but that's exactly why it matters. For 4 seasons, the talismans have represented safety. Every family depends on them to survive each night. Without them, no building is truly protected from the creatures outside. Instead of attacking people directly, Sophia attacks the one thing that keeps them alive. That tells us she understands something the others don't. Most characters see the talismans as magical objects. Sophia seems to see them as pieces of a much larger puzzle. She doesn't destroy them. She carefully collects them. Why? Because she still needs them. That tiny detail suggests the talismans may have another purpose that hasn't been revealed yet. Maybe they were never designed simply to keep monsters away. Maybe they were created as keys, seals, or parts of an ancient ritual that is finally reaching its final stage. Another emotional moment hides an important clue as well. Henry completely loses control after witnessing the impossible events around him. He becomes convinced that none of this can be real. Many viewers see this as simple panic, but it actually serves another purpose. Henry represents what happens when an ordinary person is suddenly forced to accept impossible truths. Unlike Victor, who has lived with these horrors for years, Henry still believes reality should make sense. His mind refuses to accept what his eyes are seeing. That contrast between Henry and Victor is fascinating. Victor has stopped questioning the impossible. Henry cannot stop questioning it. The writers are showing us 2 completely different responses to the same nightmare. One adapts, the other breaks. Then comes one of the finale's most heartbreaking conversations. Ethan tells Julie that first he lost his father, then his mother disappeared, and now he's afraid she'll leave too. On the surface, it's simply an emotional family moment, but hidden beneath those words is something much bigger. Julie immediately promises that she will never leave him. That promise feels innocent now, but this series has a habit of turning emotional promises into painful future storylines. Characters often make promises they desperately want to keep, only for the town to test them in impossible ways. This makes Julie's words feel less like comfort and more like foreshadowing. Could Season 5 force Julie to choose between saving Ethan and saving everyone else? The writers may already be setting up that heartbreaking conflict. Another hidden clue appears through the radio signal. Just when everyone begins believing Jade and Tabitha are dead, a weak transmission reaches the station. Hope returns for only a few moments. Then the battery dies. Once again, the town allows Hope to appear, only to take it away almost immediately. This pattern has repeated throughout the entire series. Every breakthrough is followed by another setback. Every answer creates two new mysteries. It's almost as though the town carefully controls how much hope people are allowed to have. That brings us back to the biggest mystery of all. If the town keeps reacting to every important decision, if the bottle trees hold back something far greater, and if the talismans serve a hidden purpose beyond simple protection, then someone must already know how all these pieces fit together. And in the final moments of the episode, one mysterious figure steps forward with the confidence of someone who has known the truth from the very beginning. His appearance changes everything we thought we understood about the game being played inside this terrifying town. The final minutes of the Season 4 finale completely changed the way we should look at the entire series. Until now, most viewers believed the monsters were the greatest threat. Every night, they hunted the people of the town, forcing everyone to hide behind locked doors and talismans. But this episode quietly suggests something far more disturbing. The monsters may not be the ones in control at all. They could simply be following orders from a force that has been shaping every event from the beginning. One of the biggest hidden clues comes during the rescue mission inside the tunnels. Boyd, Alice, and Fatima finally reach Jade and Tabitha after following the radio signal. For a brief moment, it feels like the nightmare is finally over. The survivors have found each other, and the children's bones are finally in their hands. But then Fatima suddenly freezes. She senses the monsters before anyone else can hear them. This is a detail that deserves much more attention than it received. Earlier in the season, Fatima's strange connection to the creatures seemed like a curse. Everyone feared that whatever was happening to her would eventually destroy her. But in this episode, that connection becomes an advantage. She doesn't need to see the monsters. She doesn't need to hear them. She simply knows where they are. That tells us her transformation is doing more than changing her body. It is connecting her to whatever force controls the creatures, almost like she is becoming part of the same network. Then comes one of the most emotional sacrifices in the entire series. Realizing there is no other way to save the others, Fatima fully embraces the transformation and turns into one of the monsters herself. Instead of attacking Boyd and the others, she uses her new form to hold the creatures back, giving everyone enough time to escape. This moment completely changes our understanding of the monsters. For 4 seasons, we believed becoming one of them meant losing every part of your humanity. But Fatima proves something different. Even after transforming, her first instinct is still to protect the people she loves. That raises an enormous question. Do all monsters begin this way? Could the smiling creatures roaming the town have once been ordinary people who slowly lost themselves over time? If that's true, then perhaps the monsters are not born evil. Perhaps they are victims of the town just like everyone else. This theory also explains why some monsters occasionally behave in strange ways. Instead of attacking immediately, they sometimes speak calmly, smile, or even try to manipulate people emotionally. Those moments may not simply be part of the hunt, they could be tiny fragments of the people they once were. Then comes another hidden clue that many fans overlooked. While digging beneath the wooden beams, Tabitha uncovers a skull and suddenly realizes it belongs to her own daughter. This is one of the most shocking moments in the finale because it doesn't just create emotional pain, it completely changes the mystery surrounding the children's bones. Throughout the season, everyone assumed these were simply the remains of unknown victims connected to an ancient ritual. But now the story becomes deeply personal. Why would Tabitha's daughter's remains be hidden there? How is that even possible? The finale doesn't answer these questions, but it leaves us with several possibilities. One theory is that time inside the town doesn't move in a straight line. Past, present, and future may all exist together. We've already seen characters experience strange visions, impossible memories, and events that seem disconnected from normal reality. If time itself is broken, then finding a future victim's remains may not be impossible after all. Another possibility is even darker. What if the town constantly repeats the same cycle? What if every generation eventually becomes part of the same story, and the children are destined to repeat the fate of those who came before them? That would explain why so many symbols, drawings, and mysterious visions continue appearing across different timelines. Everything feels connected because it has already happened before. Meanwhile, Boyd's reaction deserves attention as well. Throughout the entire series, Boyd has carried the responsibility of protecting everyone. Every impossible decision has slowly worn him down. Yet even after everything he has lost, he still risks his own life by entering the tunnels. This isn't just bravery anymore, it's becoming an obsession. Boyd refuses to leave anyone behind, no matter the cost. That quality makes him the town's greatest leader, but it may also become his biggest weakness. The forces controlling this place understand exactly how Boyd thinks. They know he will always choose to save others, even if it means walking directly into another trap. And perhaps that's exactly what happened here. Because after escaping with the bones, the finale immediately shifts to one last mysterious meeting deep inside the forest. A conversation that feels calm, almost peaceful. Yet, it carries more danger than every monster attack we've seen all season. For the first time, two figures speak as if they already understand the rules of the game. One believes the survivors finally have a chance to win. The other calmly reveals that everything they just accomplished was part of a much larger plan. And with those chilling words, the Season 4 finale leaves us questioning whether the heroes have actually moved one step closer to freedom, or unknowingly walked exactly where the true mastermind wanted them to go. The Season 4 finale gave us shocking twists, heartbreaking sacrifices, and just enough answers to keep us guessing. But the more you look at each scene, the more you realize that the biggest mysteries are still waiting to be solved. The bottle tree may have been protecting far more than anyone imagined. The children's bones might be only one part of a much larger ritual. Julie's role feels like it's becoming more important with every episode, and the boy in white clearly knows much more than he's willing to reveal. Even the talismans, the one thing everyone trusted, may have a hidden purpose that could completely change the story moving forward. If these clues are leading where they seem to be, then Season 5 won't just continue the story, it could completely rewrite everything we've believed since the very first episode. Old theories may fall apart, unexpected alliances could be formed, and the true power behind the town may finally step out of the shadows. But now it's your turn. Which hidden clue shocked you the most? Do you think the boy in white is secretly helping the survivors, or has he been manipulating them all along? And what do you think Sophia's real plan is after collecting the talismans? Share your theories in the comments, because some of the best predictions come from fans like you. If you enjoyed this breakdown and don't want to miss more from theories, hidden clues, and Season 5 updates, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next mystery.